Hey, what's up, Vox and Hops heads? I'm Matt, the Vox Crypt Hops. You listen to my podcast, Vox and Hops, where I sit down with fellow metal musicians to talk about their lives, music, and craft beer. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I had an excellent weekend. I'm very proud to announce for the month of June, I'm going to be shining a little light on Unique Leader Records. I am super stoked about this. Huge fan of the label. For this month's spotlight on Unique Leader Records, all month long you can get 10% off of your orders on the Unique Leader Indie Merch label store. You should go do that. They have a whole bunch of amazing bands, excellent stuff up there, and the great people of Indie Merch make the best merch out there. When Cryptopsy's on tour, that's exactly who we work with, and I am never disappointed, honestly. So you can get 10% off of your orders on the Unique Leader Indie Merch store. When you are checking out, just make sure you use the promo code Vox&Hops. That is VOXANDHOPS. This is valid now until July 1st, so you have all month long. You can save 10%. You should do it. There's a whole bunch of crazy stuff up there. I am very proud to play a track for you today from Unique Leader. These are my boys, my brothers, Ingested. This track is taken from Where Only Gods May Tread, their brand new album, which drops on August 14th. In case you missed it, they did a lockdown video for it, and I am actually in it. They're my brothers. I love them to death, and when they asked me to do that, I was all about it. So here it is. Enjoy. As always, turn it up to 11. Here is Dead Seraphic Forms.
Paradise we seek.
Boom. Fuck, I love the Slam Kings. They're so damn good. The best people, such fun people to tour with. Get ready, because this new album is amazing, and I've had the pleasure of hearing a lot of it because my guitarist Christian Donaldson produced it, and I tend to get sneak peeks at stuff like that. So cheers to Ingested. Cheers to Unique Leader Records. Super stoked to be doing the spotlight on Unique Leader Records this month. On today's episode, I'm with Luc Beaulieu of Yakima Chief Hops. Very excited I had a chance to sit down with Luc and talk to him. Here it is, Vox&Hops episode number 153.
I warn you, what you are about to hear is very disturbing indeed.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Today I'm with Luc Beaulieu, the Eastern Canada sales manager from Yakima Chief Hops. How are you? I met you last August, right after I finished an interview with Zach Coleman, the head brewer of True Brewing, and funnily enough, you are wearing a True shirt right now. And he's also the drummer of Chemist.
Yeah.
We were at Harry-Cana, which is, to this day, still one of my favorite Montreal brew pubs. And Zach was like, "Do you know Luc?" And I was like, No. And that's how I met you, and we've been in communication through the internet since then.
That's it.
So I wanted to meet up with you and have a beer with you and have a chat with you because I'm very interested in all things hops, of course, and you are the man to come to for that. So first off, how are you? How are you dealing with social isolation? Right before we started recording this, you were mentioning how you are so used to being on the road normally. How are you handling staying home?
That's okay. We're surviving. I'm the Canadian office, so I'm the only Canadian employee based in Canada. So the office is in my basement. So I'm used to work in my basement, but usually I'm going in and out, on the road, going to meet people, see people everywhere from Manitoba to Newfoundland. And
wow.
Sometimes, but lots of times throughout the year, I'm in the US also for like CBC, craft beer conferences. I'm going to selections in Yakima. So I'm traveling a lot. And now for the 6th week, 6th or 7th, I'm in my basement and I'm working with my customer from far away. And I'm trying to deal with my kids and all of that, and we're trying to school them. My wife is amazing. She's taking care of them a lot. She's working also. So yeah, it's pretty crazy, hectic, but we're surviving. That's good.
That's good to hear. It is very, very hard to manage all of this with kids on top of it.
Yeah.
It's hats off to everyone out there that's homeschooling, first off, working from home, and being an active, involved, caring parent. I find myself loving my children more when they're sleeping.
I got two boys, and they're pretty good. They're good boys, so we're lucky. But yeah, I can imagine having like lots of kids or being stuck for a while with crazy kids. But mine are okay, so I'm pretty happy with it. Let's
touch on exactly what Yakima Chief Hops does. I am aware of it.
Yeah.
I guess it's when I met you, I started to follow you on social media, mm-hmm. and then I started to look deeper into what Yakima Chief Hops were. When I first heard Yakima, first thing that came to my mind was the Yakima IPA from Le Castor.
That's it.
Which was the craft beer that changed everything for me here. It's the one that really pushed me into only wanting to drink craft beer. I was already going down that road, but that's the one that really totally did that. So what is a Yakima Hops? What is the Yakima Chief Hops all about?
Yakima Chief Hops is a grower-owned company. So we're the only grower-owned company in the U.S. Biggest hop supplier, biggest hop company in the U.S. right now. We've been there for 33 years this year. So it's 15 farms that owns the company. It's not a co-op. So, but it's we're working with our 15 growers, and we're buying hops from around 45 other farms, and we're distributing all over the US and all over the world. We got an office in Belgium, an office in Hong Kong. You're speaking with the Canadian office right now. We don't have a warehouse in Canada, but maybe one day. But all the hops are coming from the Yakima Valley. Yakima Valley is based in Washington State. So it's 2 hours east, 2 hours and a half east from Seattle, and maybe 3 hours up north, Portland, Oregon. So it's right in between. And the vast majority, maybe 80 or 85% of all the hop harvest or the hops in the U.S. are coming from the Yakima Valley and around.
Wow.
So, yeah, so it's a pretty big thing. We're a pretty big thing in a small industry, but we're supplying, lots of brewers since all the IP craziness from the last year and everything. So we're 33 years old company, but we're doing, like, great things.
Absolutely. And I have to say, every brewery that I've been to, sometimes I receive boxes from breweries, and a lot of times people are sending me beers packed in Yakima Chief boxes.
Now that's a good sign.
Everyone is using your hops, and I think that's just absolutely amazing. What is it about that region of the States, about Washington? What is it about that climate? Why do hops grow so well there?
It's kind of desertic. So it's in the desert. And the nights are during the summer. The nights are pretty cold, and the days are pretty hot. And the region is all irrigated by the mountains around Seattle, like Mount Rainier and everything. So they can control the water flow to grow hops, and the sun is really important throughout the day. So that's why the temperatures are really nice to grow hops, and they can control also the irrigation and the water coming in. So that's why it's a really nice region. And a funny fact, there's a lot of the hop harvest or the hop growers moved there around the 1850s, 1860s, and there's a lot of people from Quebec that moved there. So there's a lot of growers named Charon and Desmarais and lots of French names. They're all their ancestors are coming from Quebec, but they don't speak French anymore. There's one of the owners from Yakima Chief. His name is Sauvé, and lots of people are married with Charon and things like that. So there's a lot of French name, but it's all people that immigrated there in the beginning of the 19th century or 20th century. Yeah.
Wow, that's super interesting. How much hops does one farm put out? I've seen the videos of what you guys put out. It is enormous.
Yeah, it depends. There's lots of big, smaller farms. We're selling at around 60 million pounds of hops per year right now. So it's a lot.
Especially with this crazy IPA phase going on.
Yeah, so the amount of hops in every beer increases a lot since the last 10 years. If you remember, you talked about Le Castor, Yakima, it's a gateway beer for a lot of people, and they were using lots of hops back then, but now the amounts are the double, maybe the triple that were used 8 or 9 years ago when that beer was created. So the market changed a lot, and it's good for me and good for Yakima Chief also.
Absolutely, and it's good for me because I love these hazy hoppy brews. It's just absolutely delicious. With that being said, what are you drinking on your side? I know what you're drinking. I tried to find these, but I couldn't find them. So tell me what you're drinking. Let's talk about these beers.
So I'm drinking a beer that we made, not we made, but Lagabière made. Lagabière in Saint-Jean-sur-le-Richelieu, great brewery, good customers of ours. And we did a collaborative beer with them called Combat des Chiefs. So they did 2 separate beers. One experimental hop in each beer, and they also use in each beer a new blend called BioT. It's a cryo blend. Cryo Hops is one of our proprietary brands, and it's a new experimental blend also. So they used BioT, the cryo blend, in both beer, and each beer they use a different experimental hop. So they made a blue beer and a red beer. And they called it Combat des Chiefs, and you can go on their website and vote for your favorite one.
That's cool. That's a
good concept. I really love it, and the beers are really, really good, really strong. So I'm pretty happy with the collab. It just came out. It's not even distributed everywhere yet. I think you try to find some and you didn't have the chance to find them, but it's coming. So no worries. And they're already brewing the second batch. So they're going to brew at least 3 or 4 different batches. So it should be available everywhere in Quebec.
Yeah, shout out to Lagabière for doing very cool things last year. They just wrapped up their Balade à Radeau series, which was very interesting, a different experimental brew every month for 12 months, and each part of the can art led up to a giant mural or collage of pictures. It was really, really cool. And it was probably stressful and annoying for the brewers to keep coming up with these ideas and just putting it out there and not being completely satisfied with them. But it was still super, super fun for me as a client, and they have been just nailing a lot of their products recently. So I'm stoked to try this one. I really like their ukulele IPA that they put out this year. So.
Yeah, it was made with 2 different experimental hop also. So they're using lots of new stuff. They're trying lots of new brands. And they're moving in their new facility maybe at the end of the year or beginning of next year in Saint-Jean. So it's going to be bigger and better, and we're going to have lots of new beers coming from them. So it's really exciting.
Awesome. Everything that you've just said, I spawned so many questions, but I just want to touch on what I'm drinking. I am drinking Katana. It is a double dry hop Sabro with ginger beer. This comes from Broadway Microbrasserie. I like Broadway. I like what they're doing. This clocks in at a nice 7% for the afternoon. I am in love with Sabro Hops. It's my hop at the moment. It was Mosaic 2 years ago. Now it's Sabro with that coconutty, flowery finish. I absolutely love it. This is really nice. The ginger's smooth, not too overpowering like some gingers in some beers, and it's really good. So cheers. Thank you for coming on Vox&Hops.
And cheers to you. Thanks for having me.
Let's see, just breaking down some stuff. We mentioned proprietary hops. So talk me through that. What is that, and how did that come about?
So there's a company called Hop Breeding Company in the US. And it's a weird thing. It's owned 50% by Bart Haas and 50% by Yakima Chief Hops. And in real life, we're competitors. But it's a weird thing because there was lots of fight during the maybe 1991, 1992 about like hop brands. And, lawyer thing or judge thing, they decided you have to be in a company to breed together. So we're breeding hops together, but when it's time to sell them, we're competing. So that's a weird thing. So
are they based out of the Yakima Valley as well?
A hop breeding company is based in the Yakima Valley also. Yeah, and Bart Haas have a big facility in Yakima. We have a big facility in Yakima.
Crazy.
And our hop branch, our breeding branch is called Yakima Chief Ranches. And we're breeding our own things also. So we're breeding on our side, like brands. Like Simcoe, it's only Yakima Chief that owns the brand.
Really?
But there's lots of brands that you already know, like Citra, Mosaic, Sabro, all those brands are owned by hop breeding companies. So Bart Haas and Yakima Chief are selling them on their own.
Got it. Yeah.
So this is the thing.
What would be like a real original hops? You said that people started in Yakima back in the 1890s. What hop was growing there? What is like the original hop, or is there?
I don't even know. I'm not sure about this. Great question. I'm gonna have to get back to you. But it changed so much since I'm pretty sure it was like wild stuff or wild hops, because it changed a lot and the profile changed a lot. Like until 2010, lots of hops were like raised or grown for their alpha content. So it was bittering hops that were like the old thing. And for the last 10 years, it changed for aroma hops. So it changed a lot. So back then, I don't even know. I have to check, but I don't even know what was the original or hops back then. But it changed a lot since then. Even from 1970s throughout now, it's changing like every 2 or 3 years. 5 years ago, people were still getting crazy about Centennial and Cascade and Chinook. And now it's all about Citra, Mosaic, Simcoe, Equinox, Sabro, Idaho 7. There's plenty of great aroma hops. And now Citra, Cascade was the most grown hop in the U.S. Until last year. And now it's Citra that's number one. So it's changing a lot. And but it's a great question. I don't know. I don't know how to.
That's good. No. It's very interesting that, and it's interesting because basically when you're breeding these hops together, is it basically like sort of like GMO, genetically modifying the plants?
No, they're breeding. They're crossing. It's not GMO. They're trying to take the rootstock and they're breeding with like other stuff. And it's bringing, they're trying like maybe 40,000, 50,000 like different things per year. And you'll maybe have 2 or 3 new brands that's maybe potential to come in like 10 years. Because when you first do the breeding and until it's like commercialized, it's a 10-year period. Because you have to do tests, you have to be sure that it's going to be viroid resistant, the hop's going to be good, the yields are going to be good, it's going to be good for the farmer. So there's plenty of things that you have to be sure. And at the end of the whole process, you have to put those hops in the hands of the brewer so they can try it and make beers with it. So it's a long process. We're trying, but there's more error than like good stuff coming out.
Hence where all these experimental hops that brewers are now playing with. It must be exciting for them. So it's like they have something they don't even know what the outcome is going to be.
Yeah, because like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, people were brewing with Sabro before it was named Sabro.
Oh yeah, cool.
So HBCs are numbered, and usually when they are coming in the after they're being named, they're coming in the market with a name. So Citra had a HBC number before. Sabro, same thing. So it's exciting because they're getting those hops, and when we're putting HBC numbers in the market, like Lagabière, what they did, they used in one beer they used. The beer that I'm drinking right now, Combat des Chiefs, I'm drinking the red one, and they use HBC 472 inside. And HBC 472 is like a close parent of Sabro.
Okay.
So they've been bred with the same like rootstock as Sabro with another twist. So you can find a coconut that you're finding in Sabro, but there's also vanilla, and there's also a weird woody character, like kind of a barrel-aged thing that you don't find in any other hop. It's really, really weird. It's really out there, but it's a fun hop to play with. So this is HBC 472. And the other one, the blue one that they made, that I'm going to drink right after, it's 692. And this one is more fruity, tropical, maybe grapefruit. Yeah, that's it. So grapefruit and a few other things. And usually when we're putting those HBC hops in the hands of brewer, it's because they got the potential to be named like Citra, Mosaic, Sabro, and all those things. So they're at the end of the 10-year process.
How secretive is the whole crossbreeding? Is it something that you guys don't talk about? 'Cause some breweries are very open with I'm just paralleling with beers being made that they don't mind putting their recipes out there so that home brewers can try to do it. How secretive are you guys about these actual crossbreeding and creating these hops?
We're not you can visit the facilities in Yakima. We're not hiding like lots of things. We have to do the patent thing, so it's usually protected. And when we're putting them in the hands of brewers, we want to give them as much information as possible about the alpha acid content and what's in it and what they can do with it. So we're pretty transparent with the old process. We want them to get great results. So we're trying to give them as much information as possible about those hops.
You also mentioned before that you guys have a patented cryo. What is that? Talk us through that.
Yeah. So Cryo Hops. So the regular pelleted is called T90s. So it's a mix of, lupulin. That's what made the hops really, really interesting. So it's all the alpha acid is coming from the lupulin and everything, all the aromas. But when we're pelletizing everything, we're pelletizing lots of vegetal material. So there's vegetal material and there's also the lupulin gland, and we're putting it in pellets, and it's all the brewers putting this in their beers. The cryo process is we're taking the hop cone or the hop flower, and we're freezing them at like really high temperatures, and we're removing all the vegetal material. So it's only the lupulin glands that's being pelletized.
Cool.
So instead of getting Citra, at like 12% alpha, you're going to get like, when you're using cryo hops, you're going to get like Citra at maybe 18 or 19% alpha. So you're using like half of the regular T90 pellet. So at the end of the process, you're getting like more, your yield is better and you're getting more final product, because when you're putting hops in the kettle or in the boil or dry hopping with regular hops, they're soaking a lot of water and lots of beer, so you're losing lots of beer at the end. But if you're using half of the hops to get to get the same result, you're getting more final product. So that's why it's a really nice product, and it was not really available in Canada before. I came in 2 years ago, and now there's plenty of brewers that's using it, and they're getting like amazing results. So you cannot imagine how many beers that you're drinking right now and you're loving are using cryo hops, and because they're not putting it on the can or something, but there's a lot of breweries in Quebec that are using them right now and obtaining like amazing results.
Yeah, I think the first time I remember reading it on a can was from Four Origins.
Yeah,
their Hoppération.
Okay, yeah,
and
yeah, they're using our hops also.
Cool. Shout out to Mike.
There's good people, and they're using. There's plenty of breweries around, like Lagabière using cryo and lots of their in their brands. Boreal also using cryo hops. There's Noctem in Quebec City. There's plenty of those breweries that are using cryo on a regular basis and obtaining like amazing results.
Let's switch gears and dance into metal, because I know you're a metalhead.
Yeah.
Let's touch on when did you first find metal? What was the first metal band that really spoke to you?
Oh man, I came out of the closet in like 89. I'm born in 75, so it was pretty late for me. I was like 15 years old. When I was, when I was younger, I was listening to Dismiss, The Cure, all those bands. I was more of an alternative kind of guy, and I was, all the potheads at my school. I'm coming from Chicoutimi, and all the potheads were wearing like Metallica and Iron Maiden shirts, and I was not really interested in that. And I was a big prog fan also, and I was really into Pink Floyd at that time. And I remember watching Solid Rock at Music Plus long time ago, with Paul Sarrazin. And Voivod came in with Astronomy Domain. It's a Pink Floyd cover, and I was like, oh my God, this is pretty good. And they're from Jonquière. They're from like 15 minutes away from my hometown. So I knew the guys. I was not really into metal, and I've watched that song, and I was in love with Pink Floyd. And I said, okay, they're doing an amazing jump. And right after, one from Metallica came on, and I watched the old video and said, okay, and this is where my life changed. I was not, lots of my friends were, because Metallica played in Chicoutimi, and Iron Maiden played in Chicoutimi also, live.
There was a scene in Chicoutimi back in the day, and I wanted to touch on that after.
Yeah, so they played in Chicoutimi. Iron Maiden played in Chicoutimi, and Metallica came for Master of Puppets and Justice for All tour. And I jump on the train like maybe one year after. So this is where my life changed. I'm still a fan of like more alternative music, but since then I jump on the metal train like a lot.
There was a crazy scene in Chicoutimi, and a lot of people don't know this or remember this, that there would be Canadian tours that would happen, and you would have like Toronto, Montreal, Quebec City, Chicoutimi,
and Sherbrooke. Yeah,
it's crazy.
No, I know, and there's still lots of metalhead in Saguenay and Chicoutimi and Jonquière, and it's all because of like Voivod and all those bands that came out the region. Quebec is really known because of prog rock. They put like Genesis on the map in the 70s in North America. The first place that Genesis had like success was Quebec City.
Really?
And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Marillion, same thing. And all those bands, the prog rock scene was really, really strong in Quebec City. But you have to go through the Parc des Laurentides to find some like really great metalheads, and it's all from they're all coming from like Chicoutimi and Jonquière and all those places.
I know that Terrence from Suffocation still talks about those shows.
They're pretty good.
And Sébastien Croteau from Necrotic Mutation, had that whole scene going in the early 90s. So shout out to Sébastien and all of the extreme circle pitters from back in the day. It's too bad that scene has died out, sadly.
Yeah, so I'm pretty pissed about it, and that's why in '96, right after the Saguenay flood, one week after, I left Chicoutimi. It was already planned, and I came in Montreal just to study, but to see shows and to have fun and to be exposed to live music, and that's why I moved from Saguenay to Montreal. I miss my family. My family's still living there and everything, but I needed some more live music and more music in my life, so that's why I moved to Montreal.
We all need more music in our life right now, sadly.
Oh man, talk to me about it. Tonight I'm supposed to be in Quebec City to see Tool. And I got the Facebook notification this morning. Tonight, Tool in Quebec City, and it's not happening. But yeah.
But I think you saw them last year, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I saw them in New Jersey last year in November. I was there with one of my good friends. Yannick Tremblay is also a writer. He's listening to a lot of metal. He's working with the guys at Boulevard Brutal right now. So we traveled there, drink a lot of beers, visiting breweries, and went to see Tool right after. And I was going to see them like yesterday in Montreal, tonight in Quebec City, and in like 3 weeks, I was supposed to be in the Canadian Brewers Award in Victoria, BC. And they were playing in Vancouver the night after, and I had my tickets also. But it's all down the drain, so we'll see what happens. But yeah.
Oh, it's not easy right now. Let's touch on, you're wearing a True shirt. I love True. I've only actually had I think a 4-pack of beers brought it to me, Alex in Colorado, and I actually interviewed Dave Otero, the producer, and that's the one time I had a true beer. So tell me about out of all your travels and all your connections due to Yakima Chief Hops, who are the most metal breweries out there, or the most with metal brewers out there that I should know about?
True is the one and only that I can think of. They're the most metal place, and the fun thing, they're not, they're metal people. So you're going there. It's like a pretty small bar in Denver. I was there like 1 year ago for the craft beer conference. Craft beer conference was in Denver last year. Same, like beginning of April. So 1 year ago. And it's a really small bar. Extreme music is playing, like really loud death metal, all kind of stuff. So you're not. When I was there like for like 3 nights out of 4 because I was bringing customers there to have fun and drink beer, and I don't recall hearing like a commercial metal tune. Like, I don't even recall hearing like Black Sabbath or Mastodon or Cryptopsy. we didn't hear, like, it was all stuff that I knew of, and sometimes I was taking my Shazam just to see what was playing. And the place was crazy. But the most amazing thing about this place is the beer. They're brewing amazing barrel-aged stuff, saison, sour beers. So it's not the beer. When you're thinking of metalheads, usually you're thinking about PBR or Coors Light or Bud Light or Canadian, their sponsor Heavy Montreal and things like that. So when you're picturing a metalhead, they're always having like a lager or a blonde beer. But that place was the Nirvana because they got so many like great beers, dark stuff. Like I said, sour beer saison. So there's a beer for everyone, but the place is like unique. There's no other metal bars that I can think of besides True Brewing. But maybe it's a scoop for you. There's one coming in Montreal.
Really?
Yeah, there's a metal team bar coming in Montreal, in a beer bar, in Hochelaga Maisonneuve.
Really?
I heard about this. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they got their permit.
Okay, you'll tell me about this after we stop recording because I have to find these people.
Yeah, but it's supposed to happen in Hochelaga Maisonneuve. If it's not this year, it's going to be the next. But they were pretty far in their like permit and like place and things. But I think they already got their space in Hochelaga Maisonneuve, so it's happening.
I'm very interested. There is Le Fermenteur from l'Assomption that I know very well.
Good people.
Excellent people, and they are very metal.
Jeff and Patrick.
Yes.
Yeah, they're good. They're fun. They're fun guys. I had the chance to meet them at MBQ, Association des Microbrasseries du Québec, for the last 2 years, and we're always having fun. And they're using our hops also. So yeah, and I'm a pretty big fan of their beers, and they're really good people.
Absolutely.
And I really hope that this COVID thing is like bad, because it's the current situation. It's hitting like small places like them, because when you look at Lagabière and Boréal and all those places, they're putting their beers in cans. They're distributing everywhere, and it's not really it's hitting them, but it's not, keg. They're not putting their beer in kegs. They're putting their beer mainly in cans and in bottles. But if you look at small places like Le Fermenteur, I'm thinking about them. I'm thinking about, I don't know, Opéra and Jonquière and all those small places. They're doing great stuff. but their hands are tied right now because they cannot do anything. So that's why laws have to change in Quebec. So those guys can be able to put their stuff in cans and also ship their beers to customers.
Yes, it's such an archaic system. It is absolutely ridiculous. And a shout out to Brasserie du Bas-Canada, who have been very vocal about this. And they even made a new beer that is coming out either today or later this week, where on the whole can is a big manifest. The can art is a manifest of why they should be able to ship to people's homes, which is what's happening in Ontario. And their craft beer scene is doing probably very well in comparison to these small breweries here in Quebec. Fermentor has started bottling their brews. I don't know if they've started getting them out to points of sale yet. And it really sucks because right before, I have a warm spot for Le Fermentor because Jeff grew up in St. Marthe. I'm from Two Mountains. Patrick was the third episode of Vox&Hops. They made the first Vox&Hops collaborative brew. I love going there. It's so much fun. It's always a mistake when I go there because I get way too drunk.
I'm not surprised.
They're great. They're great. But it'll be a they just started releasing kegs in at Vice Versa here in Montreal, which is one of the premier tap rooms. So right before COVID, they had a keg out there, and they were really starting to get their name on the map. So I hope that they keep treading water and that they can get through this garbage. And the Quebec government should give small breweries, small businesses a break and get rid of this archaic law of not being able to distribute directly to your customer. It's so stupid, and it's something that should still be in a place afterwards. We should be able to just order beer from a brewery that we like.
Yeah, it's a law that's been back since the Prohibition or something. So it's outdated, and it's time for it to change. Props to Marc-André and Gabriel from Brasserie Le Bas-Canada for the new beer. I read the manifest, and they're good customers of ours, and I wish them luck. And I'm pretty sure they're doing good things, and they're also building their new brewery also. So they're going to be bigger and bigger, and that's those guys deserve recognition, and they're pretty vocal. And I hope it's going to work, and it's going to open some doors for all the small breweries like Fermentor and things like that. They deserve to take care of their own destiny and ship their product where they want to ship it.
I hope this new brewery that they're opening up means that I can get more of their beers.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get their beers sometimes. They go for sale. It's not as hard as a Masorum, of course. But I'd like to just have a fridge full of Bas-Canada that I can select from. I'd be happy with that.
That would be fun. I got good contacts. Like I said, I'm their their hop supplier. So, but it's hard to get. It's hard to get. And all of their beers are amazing, and it would be fun to be able to order for all those places that are not around Montreal, and we have problems to get I would love to order Oval, and I would love to order Le Naufrageur. They're far away, and they got plenty of stuff. I would love to order Saint Pancras or Le Prospecteur from Val d'Or. Or there's plenty of amazing breweries all throughout Quebec and Eastern Canada. And but for now, we need to change those laws as soon as possible.
Absolutely. One last question. What is your hangover cure?
Oh, man. My hangover cure, I'm doing lots of biking, bike rides. Right now, I'm biking in my basement. I got a
stationary bike.
Not a stationary bike. It's my road bike, but on a roller.
Oh, cool.
And I'm training with a program called Zwift on the TV. So I'm competing with people all around the world. We can be the 30,000 people at the same time on the program, and climbing hills or doing a good sweat is the best way to cure hangover. And lots of water.
First person to have said that, and I absolutely agree. I force myself to work out every day. You got to fight the hops.
Yeah. I'm fighting them every day.
Same here. And people always ask me how I do it. It's not complaining, and you're getting on the bike, and I'm lifting some weights and doing some cardio in my living room, or I'm getting outside with the kids.
That's it. Because my job is I'm working in beer, so I'm drinking beer, and I'm trying to, and I because I'm on Hunt Tap also, and I'm not using it to rate beers. I'm using it to keep track of how many beers I'm drinking.
Okay.
And I'm drinking an average like 4 to 5 beers a day.
Really? Wow. So the biking works.
That's it. So since I'm here, I'm drinking more because I'm home and I have to sample all those beers, and I'm getting out there and I'm buying like my customer beer, so I want to encourage them and everything. So I'm drinking a bit more, but I didn't gain like 1 pound or 1 kilo because I'm biking like crazy. I'm biking like 1 hour, 1.5 hours per day, losing lots of calories. But on the other side, I'm drinking amazing beers, and it's my job to do it. So I have to sacrifice myself.
That's right, Luke. You have a very hard job.
I know. No, I love to think that I got the best job in the beer industry because I'm traveling, visiting breweries. I'm getting paid to do it, drinking lots of different beers. And, my hobby was to visit breweries before, and now I'm getting paid to do it. So it's best of both worlds.
Absolutely. If anyone should have a podcast, you should.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, but I would love to do something about beer and music, but it's I know a guy that's already doing it, so I'm not gonna steal the place.
You can be my man on the field.
I'm more than open to do it.
Luke, thank you so much.
Hey, no problem. Thanks to you.
I really enjoyed my chat. I'm looking forward to sharing a beer with you in real life, and that will happen very soon, hopefully. Cheers.
Yeah, man. Cheers to you.
Hey, thank you all so much for listening right to the end. That I love and appreciate that. Such a great chat with Luke. He's so much fun. I love metalheads. I love craft beer, obviously. I think it's super interesting to get in the behind the scenes of where beer comes from, where these products that I love so much are created, how they're created, what goes into it. I loved diving deeper into this. I love hops, obviously. So this was a no-brainer, and Luke is an amazing human, and I hit it off with him immediately, and I really, really enjoyed this chat. So I'm stoked till we can get together and have a brew together. For real, Luke, it's always a pleasure. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week. I have one more episode coming at you this week, and it's dropping on Friday. But until then, remember to enjoy life, metal, and craft beer. Cheers, Vox and Hops heads.